Uh, Hello and welcome. Tom here from the Doctors Collective, talking to you today about why you don't need an MBA or a PhD or all sorts of other degrees to do well in business. And here's why: the pet rock. All right, I want to tell you the story about the pet rock. Hey, Bridget, how you going? Welcome to the Instagram Live. So I want to talk to you about the pet rock, right? Because I don't know how many of you remember the pet rock from like the 70s or 80s. I can't remember exactly when it was, but there was this guy called Gary Dahl in the 70s, and he was a copywriter who was having difficulty getting jobs. So he's pretty much unemployed, and he's sitting around at the bar with his friends, and they're talking crap, having some beers, and and his friends are complaining about how their pets all need all this care and cleaning up and equipment and cleaning up and time and effort, and they're just complaining about their pets and their animals or whatever they're going to need to look after. And then Gary's sitting there over his beer and goes, "My pet doesn't need any maintenance, no cleaning up at all." And they're like, "What have you got, like a fish or something?" It's, no, fish need to be looked after. My pet, no looking after, no mess, nothing at all. Happy little pet. Like, what's he talking about? And so he keeps telling this story about his pet, and it turns out that what he's describing is a pet rock. Okay, a pet rock. And if you remember those, that they were essentially like a nothing fancy. It was literally a rock from the garden put into a box with a bit of a story around it. That was it, right? There was nothing else. And Gary, the thing is, Gary sold millions of these, and he made millions. It became a fad. Oops, my life here. It became a fad, and he became a minor celebrity and this guy had no business experience, and he just thought, you know what, the people at the pub liked it, I'm going to give it a crack and see what happens. And it became a fad. He became a minor celebrity with a pretty shitty idea and no business skills, and away he went. And when I heard about this, I thought to myself, I'm overthinking things. I think I'm overthinking it a bit, because here's this guy, he's struggling, he's not doing too well, and he's set up this big successful business. Now I've got Facebook and YouTube here and Instagram here, so I'm going to try and keep eye contact with everybody. But and a lot of doctors find that they do the same thing. They think, oh, I need an MBA, I need a PhD if they want to go be known throughout the world on their particular skill or technique or something, and they want to change many lives. Or they want to get an MBA before they get into business so that they know what they're expecting. And you know what? I understand why many people feel that way, because if you look at medicine, there's no way you can do anything in medicine without years and years of study and a solid degree or multiple degrees behind you. Well, yeah, in Australia, it's like 1 or 2 degrees before you can actually engage in the work that you want to be doing. So it's understandable that doctors are like, right, before I engage in the work of business, I need to do an MBA or a PhD, or maybe not a PhD to do business, but some people have a big vision which involves them being really well known for a particular thing, and they feel they need to get a PhD before they can step out there and become well known. But the truth is that, let's talk about the MBAs first. An MBA will tell you some theory, but you still have to end up doing the work that a non-MBA does. And you still have to learn the same lessons in the same way. But this is after forking out $80,000 for the degree. You still have to do the same things that a non-MBA does. And so you've wasted the time and the money and the effort, and it's not really going to get you ahead. Now, it might be worthwhile if you're going into the corporate world of business. But even then, and definitely in Australia, just by virtue of being a doctor, you're in high demand and you don't need anything else to get into that area. But when it comes to entrepreneurship, starting your own thing, your own whatever it is that you want to do, an MBA will only slow you down. It'll put you years behind and a whole bunch of money, and you still have to start from the same place that everybody else does. And I know, because I've been through a business. I never did an MBA, and I've done very well. And there have been times when I thought, you know what if I need the skills of an MBA? Well, I'll hire one. That's what my accountant. I don't know if he has an MBA, but you hire them because they want the work. they're trying to get a job like anybody else who has trying to get into corporate world or whatever, but you can hire them. The other thing is credibility. People are thinking, you know what? People won't listen to me. They won't take me seriously unless I have a degree. And again, that's true in medicine, but not in business. Because the truth is, in business, if you want, here's the thing: if you want credibility, hey May, welcome to the live. If you want credibility as a doctor in business, here's the thing: you've already got it. Already as a doctor, you have high amounts of credibility. People will listen to what you have to say, not just because of the title, but because what it means. To people outside of the profession and inside of the profession as well, it means that you have the ability to work hard. You're intelligent. You can figure things out, solve problems, learn, communicate with people, all skills that are transferable into business. That's one thing. But also, there's a big trust for doctors as well. And so you already have a lot of credibility. But the second point is more important. Now, this applies to you if you want to get into business or if you have a big vision for the future. And I spoke to one particular person because we work with a lot of doctors as private clients, and we help them to achieve their vision for the future, be it in business or kind of combining business and medicine. And I was speaking to this one particular gentleman who wanted to become a world renowned author and speaker on particular topics for the public. And he felt you needed to get his master's and a PhD and so on. The truth is, there's only one thing people want to know when it comes to the one thing you need to be able to show people to succeed in business or fulfill your big vision if you want to be able to impact lives. And let me just go to my notes here because I want to make sure I get this right. Because here's the thing. It doesn't matter what credentials you have, whether you're even a doctor, whether you have a PhD or a master's or an MBA or whatever. It doesn't matter if you have any of those if you can't help the client. If you can't help the client, it doesn't matter how many bells and whistles you have, you're not going to succeed. You're going out of business if you can't help them and if you can't show them that you can help them. But if you can help them, if you can show them and they understand that you can help them and then you can go on and do that, then you can be, a washed up, whoever, like Gary Dahl. You can be a one-tooth redneck from wherever, and you can, with no degree and a high school education, you can do just fine because you can give your clients what they want, help them, and be able to communicate that to them. That is far more important than in the MBA, and that MBA won't teach you any of that. And that's one of the big things I've learned being in business for the last 12 years is that the key is to be able to communicate to your audience that you can help them and how you can help them and actually doing so. If you can do that, doesn't matter your degree, whatever, where you're going live on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube all at the same time, it's all fine because you can show them that you can help them achieve what they want. And so in terms of bringing all this together, how do you move forward in that case? Well, two things, okay? Two ways to move forward, skipping the MBA and all the extra degrees. Number one is just do it. Get out there, start spreading the word, start talking to people who you want to be helping and seeing how you can help them. Have the conversations with them to see what they need, what skills you have to help them, and then make them an offer them some help, because that's the quickest way that you'll figure out what you need next, what you need to be working on, and where to go from there. And number two is to get a mentor, get some guidance from someone who's been there before and can show you the way. That is the quickest way to shortcut a lot of the mistakes that people make and help you to avoid, paying tens of 80,000 plus and still get nowhere. But instead, someone who can give you the practical guidance to get started and move forward, because business is more like, it's less theory, more practical, right? And if you look at successful business owners and entrepreneurs, I'll give you a question. Name one successful entrepreneur with an MBA. Now, name 3 successful entrepreneurs with no MBAs, right? Richard Branson, Steve Jobs, and the Microsoft guy. I can't remember his name. Right? I don't know if maybe he got an MBA eventually. or Mark Zuckerberg, right? There's another one. No MBA, he just got started. And the thing is, having met Richard Branson, I'll tell you a quick story. A month ago, we were invited to go to South Africa on safari with Richard Branson, and we spent a bunch of time, in the trucks with him and having dinner and breakfast and lunch and just hanging out with him. And I got to know him as a guy, and also got to know some of his story. I mean, over the years, I've read a bunch of his books. And here's a guy who started a magazine as a 15-year-old with no experience. Like he doesn't have an MBA. He just got started. He jumped in there trying to help the people that he cared about. And that's what this is about, being able to help the people that you care about, be it in business or outside, and going from there. Now, he is a really sweet guy, a really nice guy, and he's a great example of just getting started. And he had mentors along the way as well, people who showed him how to do that. So I hope that's been helpful. I hope that's avoided you, worrying about getting all the degrees and things like that. Now I'm going to be going live every day this month. So if you like this, hit the like button, come along to the next one, and I'll see you there. But don't worry about the MBAs or the PhDs. Chances are you don't need it. You can get there a lot quicker without it and have a lot more fun. Unless, of course, you want to get a PhD and you like that kind of stuff. But we've got to be clear about that. Cool. Enjoy. All the best. Speak to you soon.